The Marines and Afghan policemen came prepared to face rocket-propelled grenades, AK-47s, and improvised explosive devices, or IEDs. Their target, they believed, was among these farmers.
Up here, though! Up here!
The Marines painstakingly checked for IEDs with electronic detectors and with a metal sickle on the end of a pole used to find the command wires that lead to remote-controlled detonators.
Back up, Sergeant Steele.
They found a wire in a hay bale in a compound entrance.
Possible ID, we need EOD over here.
We're trying to get a essay on EOD.
The explosive ordnance team was called, and the one farmer of military age was questioned.
Tell him there's a light switch with brown wires in it over there. You have to know what that is. Show him.
The wire wasn't a trigger, apparently, but the farmer still had to be checked out. The Marines used a system called HIDE to take pictures, retinal scans, and fingerprints, and run them against a database of around 34,000 entries.
What came up on the system?
Yeah. What?
The first search of the database indicated that there was some information on file about this man, but it didn't specify what.
You came up with the IR scan?
Then the results were lost,
Well, you're just gonna have to do them over again.
and the scan had to be done again.
Got an alert. Redoing it, so you double tap it. Roger, be advised, the HIDE has an alert. We need to, guidance on if we're detaining.
So they had not knowing.
The farmer was in the database, but not for anything serious. The patrol moved on.
Batteries over there.
The less tangible, but just as essential purpose of the mission was for Marine and Afghan forces to show residents that they were strong enough to provide security against the Taliban, while making it clear that they meant no harm to the Afghan people.
They are doing their search for bringing security. They are doing a really good job.
I asked Gunny Willis, aka the Motivator, what motivated him to do this work.
Certain people in the world got to motivate other people.
You got the AEP right here, security?
You can't have people out there without motivation
Did you clear that top compound out?
or dedication. Some people have both at the same time. You understand what I mean? I like to motivate people. So hopefully one day they can take over as the motivator, be fired up as well.
Tell me no harm here.
I like the underdogs. I like the marathon runners that are missing a leg. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I like to be a part of that. You know, Marine Corps is involved with all that stuff. That's what's fun for me. Maybe we can give the kids that are little and they'll have a chance when they get older. And I think they appreciate stuff that when they're able to get it maybe one day.
The assault team didn't find the Taliban commander,
We're not there yet. Don't get like state.
but the operation still served a wider strategic purpose in expanding the U.S. and ANSAF presence outside Marja, a presence that the troops hope appears both powerful and good. Jeff Holden in Afghanistan for the NATO channel.
Close as fuck. Right there. Right there, right over that wall. Don't hit the wall. See a little compound down there? Yeah, go ahead. Right over by the palm. Where's the palm? Yeah, they're right down here. They're to our east.
Hey, there's people getting out of the fucking car. Damn it, man! You just ran across the fucking alley. Hey, I had one buddy move across the alley, dude, stop!
Already fire force fit coming in. Right over here somewhere. Oh, here it comes. Oh. Woo! Fucking hell, kids. Got some more coming in. Fuck yeah! They get the trees? Yeah. Boom! Fucking faggots. Hey, look, man. What's up? We need to go over there and check if I got anybody with a claymore.
I hope I killed somebody with a 50.
I hope I killed somebody with that claymore. Had to be. Woo! Douchebags. Welcome to Afghanistan.
Hey, gents. Gloves and Kevlar over handling ammo. Nothing changed. I see red. Who's close? Bro, what? That's it. Reach open. Charlie Chief, use PD. Charlie Chief, use PD, verify. Load it, charge 2 Lima. Load it right after. Alright, clear. I see red 2 closing. Who's most? Get laid. They keep back to stand by. Right, what do I? Fire. Charlie Chief, use PD. Charlie Chief, use PD, verify. Load it. Powder. Ready, drop. Let's go! Ready, drop! Get laid. Let's go! Fire! Gotta hold that pressure! Fire! Fire! Hold 2 Lima! Load right after! Ready, drop! Now we can get to do it. There you go. I see red 2 closing! Who's close? Let's keep back, let's stand by! Now, what do I? Fire! Let's keep back to stand by! Now, what do I? Let's go! Fire! Keep back, stand by, prawo do right, fire! Toi, tu mets plus à gauche, passe là-bas. Oui. Toi, tu mets plus à droite, passe ici. C'est ça, il va se mettre à droite de nous. Go right! Go rapid! South, 20 meters! Right here! Attention en avant! Attention! Allez, d'un coup, il reste à là! Allez, continue à tirer à l'avant!
Make you hug the rope. This way as you can do.
Бросать, tout reste à la gauche! J'ai à prendre à droite! Now rapid. One front. Ok, prochain, préparez-vous. Restez en garde. Point terme, prochain pas de tir, faut pas de casse. Allez, c'est parti, on y va. On y va. Regarde la cible juste en front. Contact! Fire team in the open! 11 o'clock, close me now! Go, reloading! Gunner! Oh yeah, there we go. Watch out! shit! They're still fucking shooting. Where are they shooting from?
This is C.J. Chivers of the New York Times. The Marines of Kilo Company, 3rd Battalion, 6 Marines had been pushing through Marja, a Taliban-held area in southern Afghanistan. The Taliban were resisting. Often their tactic is to hit and run, and they aren't known as accomplished shots. But on this day, they massed and attacked 2 Marine platoons. They also had at least one man with them the Marines considered to be a sniper, which was unusual.
Hey Bennett, the tree line in between both the buildings. Look at the tree line right in the middle of that. Deep where those impacts just were. They're squirting both ways.
The squirters, as Sergeant Brian Rogers, a squad leader, called them, were Taliban fighters a few hundred yards away, trying to escape across the open steppe. The sergeant ordered several Marines, including Lance Corporal Travis Vicolo, who was 20, to suppress the Taliban positions with gunfire.
I want you low, though, Vicolo. I got it. Hey.
At least one sniper, maybe more, was adjusting his shots. He'd almost determined the range, and was overcoming the stiff crosswind. Listen closely, as bullets pass overhead from a rifle heavier than a Kalashnikov.
Right over.
The Taliban usually shoot poorly. Not today. Sometimes in a firefight, inches matter. A dirt wall in the right place, like this one, can mean the difference between living and dying, especially at times like now, when a gunman in hiding has found the range.
Hey, that's accurate fire! Give you a direction and distance.
The sniper is likely using a rifle like these, which were found hidden in an Afghan home several hundred yards away. They're Lee Enfields. One was made in 1942. In the right hand, it's still deadly. The Marines here were working on a clear, an early step in the phases that now define American counterinsurgency doctrine. The goal was to push the Taliban out of the area so that government might be established and security transferred from American to Afghan hands. They expected this fight. They expect more. In a lull, Sergeant Rogers ordered a Marine to fire a smoke grenade near the presumed sniper position.
Not too far. You're marking the building. Hit him. Yeah, that's good. That's a good shot. That's funny.
Its plume will mark for incoming air support. The sniper replied.
Oh, he didn't like that, did he?
Oh, that pissed you off a little bit.
This is 2-2. I got green smoke on the ground in front of the building we're taking very effective fire from. How copy?
Afghan troops fired rocket-propelled grenades. The return fire built.
They're accurate. It's not a it's got to be a sniper. It's got to fire.
Heads up, hey, keep your heads down.
Sergeant Rogers ordered his troops back behind the wall.
Get here, peel out again. One at a time. One at a time. Hurry up, Vicolo. Hurry up, Vicolo. One at a time.
They're in this building. The other little one.
That one right there. Woo. That one was close. Keep your head down if you're not firing. Woo.
The rounds passed by helmets. Then the cry went up.
We got it. We got it.
A Marine had been hit.
Keep your arm lifted. Push, Vicolo.
It's Lance Corporal Vicolo. Though he had barely been exposed, Lance Corporal Vicolo had been shot through the shoulder. His bad luck was mixed with good. The round missed the bone. This was his second combat tour. He's the son of a Vietnam veteran. At first there was dread, but as his friend sensed his luck, the jokes began. Vicolo was lucid. He gave his medical tagging information.
KV 4647 OPAWS.
What is it?
KV 4647 OPAWS.
Had the bullet struck Vicolo an inch to the right, it would have shattered his shoulder joint, changing his life.
7 OPAWS.
8 inches to the right, it would have found throat.
He's okay. He's back on his gun.
1 instant of good fortune means little the next. After Vicolo was shot, Marines working at a distant camp fired at least one guided ground-to-ground missile to help Kilo Company's fight. The ordnance did not hit the compound from which these Marines were taking fire. It hit another, nearby, several hundred yards to the left. At least 12 Afghan civilians were killed, including 5 children. An ugly day turned uglier for everyone involved, and presented the Marines in Marja with a fresh challenge when the fighting would finally let up. Then, they would be seeking civilian support.